Greetings, friends. It's Pat at Dancing Moon Travel here with another episode of Let's Talk Travel. We are absolutely delighted that you're out there, and we hope you'll stay tuned to the end because, as usual, at the end, we will have another great giveaway toward the end of the broadcast just for live listeners. So it pays to tune in live with us. And of course, we also welcome you that might be catching this on an instant replay and found this on YouTube or wherever. We are glad that you are tuning in as well. I am just thrilled to be introducing our guest this evening, Deb Sculley, who is our Business Development Manager with one of our iconic providers, Collette. Now, if you ever watch a certain television program, you're familiar with Collette Tours. Deb, you guys are out there all the time on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, I almost thought that was going to be the trivia question there.
but if you watch that, you see them up there, and trust me, when you hear all that Deb is going to share with us this evening, you are going to be so glad that you tuned in. And Deb, I am so thankful for you to be here because I just happy for another chance to connect and to feature Collette on Let's Talk Travel. Deb, we always like to start by letting our viewers just get to know you a little bit. Could you just share a little bit about your path, how you found your way into the travel industry and eventually made your way to Collette?
Well, sure, I would love to, but thank you so much for that very generous introduction, Pat. I only wish I were as smart as you were getting into travel years ago. I actually just made a big career change from the world of television advertising of 30 years in that. And I can tell you now that I am in travel, I can't wait to wake up every day and talk travel with my wonderful agents and my friends like you, Pat. And this industry, I think the one thing that really just sticks out for me, it's just this industry is made up of the most amazing people, well-traveled professionals like yourself, and just the nicest people anyone could ever want to meet or work with. And I also happen to, I think, land at one of the best companies in the world, Collette. Collette's a family-owned company out of Rhode Island, which happens to also be my home state. Although I reside in West Palm Beach now, and I've been here for close to 30 years. So I work for the most caring team in the industry, and our guests are always our number one priority. And I think, that just kind of speaks for itself. Collette to date has refunded over $170 million since the beginning of the pandemic. So I can't say enough about this company, and I just feel like there's no company like it.
Yeah. Give us a little more, Deb. And by the way, I didn't get into travel early on. I am so envious, like you, of the people who did, because I got in. I worked in law offices. I thought I would just, someday I'd just keel over and they'd carry me out. And just a chance conversation, and here I am today. But I was a latecomer into the industry as well. Could you just, Debbie, give us a quick kind of overview? You shared a little bit, but take a little deeper dive into Collette, and I know it's hard to do a condensed version because there's so much. But what about travel styles and destinations? What can you share with us?
Yeah, I mean, we're the oldest tour operator in America. Collette's actually 104 years old, and we tour. We have over 160 tours on all 7 continents. And because travelers are different, so are our tours. So we offer classic tours, different styles. Classic tours, which are our iconic tours, up to 44 passengers, and we visit the most iconic destinations. We have an explorations tour style, and that's private small group touring, about an average of 18 to 24 guests. Our spotlight tours offer guests a one city center hotel, unpack once and explore a great destination. We also offer river cruises and faith-based tours. So a lot of different styles for all different folks, but all of our tours are fully guided by a tour manager and designed with perfect pacing, less one night stays. So, our guests have more time to become immersed in that local culture and in that destination.
Yeah. You rang a bell with me because I had a conversation with a particular client earlier this week. And as you were talking about your spotlight, I just had an aha moment. I thought, oh, I've got to talk to you about the spotlight tours because I think that's going to be perfect for what he wants to do. But we'll get back to that. But that I'm glad that you mentioned that travel style because I think that could be a perfect fit for this particular couple.
Great.
Um, Now, Deb, there are literally dozens and probably more like hundreds. Sometimes I feel like travel providers who provide escorted travel. What is it, would you say it is that, what are some of the things that differentiate Collette in the industry that's, you serve the same destinations more or less, but what are those key differences with Collette?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competition out there, right? I would have to say Collette offers the most experienced team in guided travel. I mean, I just mentioned 104 years old. So we are the oldest tour operator in North America. Our tours are all going to be 4.5 star, but we say the experiences that we offer are truly 5-star experiences. We list all of our hotels on the website. So all of our guests always know where they're staying. Our tours are very inclusive. That means our guests are not having to pay additional fees for more options on tour to, make it that tour. We also offer choice on tour, so our guests can experience a destination the way they want to see it, and that's included. That's also something that's really great for multi-generational families that are traveling with us. You might have some of the older folks might not want to go ziplining, but the grandkids might want to. Although we do, there was an 80-year-old lady who just ziplined on our Costa Rica tour in April of
Bless
last
her
year.
heart.
It was her birthday. She's amazing. But when our guests buy our land and air inclusive tours, we provide a complete transportation package that includes private sedan service that's picking them up from their home, taking them to the airport. And you know what? Our guests really
Wow.
love that.
Oh yes, that is really that is a feature that differentiates you from anybody. Yeah,
And you know
love
what,
it.
Pat? It's that total peace of mind and that VIP experience that we want to give all of our guests. And for me, the worst part of any trip is driving to the airport and parking. So we take all of that stress right out of it right from the get go. We're also really proud of the properties that we offer, some of the most iconic and amazing, unique hotels in the world. On our Finland Northern Lights tour, our travelers are staying in glass igloos to give them more of that opportunity to see the Northern
Mm.
Lights. So we're really proud of the properties that we work with. And all of our tours offer very unique and immersive experiences. So we really, we're going to some of the world's most beautiful destinations, and we feel it's our responsibility to make sure that people are learning and understanding the local cultures. So we do that through, often it's done through cuisine. The old days, people would get on a bus and have a sandwich and be happy with that. But now we know people are experiencing other cultures through that local cuisine. So all of our tours are going to offer a very unique, immersive culinary experience. And that could be in Italy where a grandmother is in her kitchen making you some meatballs, or it could be a visit to an Irish sheep farm and watching the sheepdogs in action. They're just these very unique experiences that are always included on tour.
I love that. That's great. And what about activity level, Deb? Or do you- uh, do people need to be very active, or do you have different styles?
So all of our tours are going to, whatever style it is, they're probably going to have a different activity level that's all spelled out. So, I always tell everybody that they need to be working with a travel agent, especially these days with what's going on with air. But, that's where you come in, right? You're the expert.
Love
You're
it.
going to help match the right tour with the right person. So some tours are much more laid back and some are more active.
Okay, very, very good. So there are options for different stuff, and that is very good. Uh, I want to turn a little bit to Europe is our featured destination for all the month of August. So, it's a pretty big place. There is a whole array of countries and cultures, and can be very different from one part of the continent to another. What would you say are some of the more popular tours that you currently offer in Europe?
So it's hard to pin just a few down, but I mean, Collette has 19 different itineraries just in Italy alone. We have huge buying power in Europe. We have 10 Ireland itineraries. We have some that even include Scotland and Wales. We have tours to Spain and Portugal, Germany, Austria, Bavaria, Finland, Iceland, Greece, Croatia. So many amazing European tours featuring art, history, architecture, food and wine, even nature. So we also include special events that are happening. We have tours that are built around events like the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, or how about a Tulip River Cruise featuring the Kuchenhof Tulip Festival? We have special holiday tours, our spotlight on Paris, New Year's Eve, Christmas in London, Christmas on the Danube, a lot of holiday stuff,
I
and
love it.
so many more.
I love it. Now, I know that you are fairly new with Colette, but have you had a chance yet to sample the merchandise a bit? Uh,
I'm glad you precluded that like that because, yeah, I did start in January just as the pandemic was breaking. So my 3 scheduled tours to Italy in last year in 2020 were all canceled. But as I said, we did start touring again in April of last year, and I did have the opportunity to experience our Kentucky Bluegrass tour, which was really a nice surprise. I mean, amazing horse farms in Lexington. We even toured the farm where Secretariat had trained.
oh, I love that horse. What a magnificent
Great
yes.
movie, great story. And then we had a fun derby party in Louisville. But this winter, we will be, our whole sales team is going to be doing Colette's Spotlight on the French Riviera. So I'm very excited about that tour. And then next spring, we'll be on our Canadian Rockies by Train tour.
Oh
So,
wow.
and I have some agents that are touring there right now, and the pictures that they're posting are spectacular. So we stay at the Chateau Lake Louise, again, another one of our hotel partners that we're so proud of, that's just
Oh,
one of
that's a famous property. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, you say no wonder you say you are proud of your accommodations, and if that's any measure of what you offer, that I mean that is known worldwide as just a fabulous property.
yeah. And that's a 5-star property. And we call ourselves 4-star because we're, saying on average across the board. But that we have very many tours that have 5-star properties on them also.
I love it. I love it. And clients love that. Just having those occasional little splurges or special stays, when you do that night at the 5-star, it's yeah, it's just one of those special highlights. And I love that you include some of those in your tours. Uh, I know this can be kind of hard to nail down. But would you say are a couple of the best selling itineraries with that you could share with our viewers right now in Europe? What would you think?
Well, I mean, I always say whether you've been or you're returning, you can just never have enough Italy, Pat. So I would have to say take a look at Tuscany and the Italian Riviera. It's a 9-day tour flying into Milan and out of Florence. You're kicking it all off in Turin with a blend of French and Italian heritage. We have a wonderful welcome dinner for our travelers that first night with views of the beautiful Alpine peaks in the background. And they're traveling through Italy's vibrant Riviera. And of course, that wouldn't be complete without a visit to a local winery. So,
Oh yes.
and of course, as you can see behind me, I have to move the right way. We're visiting, it's this way. It's opposite, right?
Yeah.
We're visiting beautiful Cinque Terre, so in Italy, which is just that amazing, colorful, picturesque town. Visiting the medieval town of Lucca, which is a walled city. Then on to Tuscany. They have a beautiful 3-night stay at a traditional Italian estate there. There's a pasta making class because it's Collette. And then on to the cradle of the Renaissance, Florence, and just a tour full of rich history and really a
So that
foodie's dream.
Yeah, Florence is just such a magnificent place for the foodies, an Eddie tour, and those who the David and all of the other famous art that
Yeah.
you can view there. And did we mention the food? Yeah, I think we mentioned food and wine.
All
Uh,
of our Italy tours have at least 5 pictures of food.
yeah, yeah, just great. And what about what's another one that you would single out maybe?
I mean, I would also take a look at Spain's classics in Portugal. It's another favorite. So much to offer. It's a little longer. It's a 15-day tour. Guests are flying into Barcelona and out of Lisbon. But like most of our tours, guests can choose to add a pre-tour or post-tour extension. So this tour actually has one of each. There's a 3-night pre-tour option in Barcelona and Costa Brava. And there's also a 4-night Madeira Island post-tour extension. I always say if you have the time, you've already paid for the air, why not extend? So these extensions are always a really great value. And guests on this tour are visiting Barcelona, Valencia, Granada, Seville, Cordoba, Madrid, Toledo,
Wow.
Elvas, Lisbon, Obidos, and just lots of cities. But again, it's over 2 weeks, so there's a lot there, and it's full of rich history, architectural masterpieces, culture, Mediterranean cuisine. Again, it's another foodie dream. One word, paella.
Yeah, for
And it's
sure. And
also,
Spain and Portugal have been incredibly popular. Just the year or so prior to the pandemic starting, and now that it's uh, things are back to travel, still is a one of those very much in demand destinations. So
yeah, it's a beautiful area.
yeah. Who would you say, Deb, is your target client? Who typically travels with Colette, and what characteristics could you cite that might help our listeners to identify themselves as part of that group?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wide range, but I would say our typical guest is 50 plus, and many are retired, but we also have some, I mentioned it early, multi-generational families on tour. So I would say all of our travelers are interested in learning about different cultures, seeing history unfold right there as they stand in it, right? Um,
Right.
there are people that just really embrace unique experiences. And, touring is education and adventure. Maybe not so much a vacation, although people might be using vacation time. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. It you really sounds like people who want to have authentic experiences and plug into culture and uh, really come home with a sense of the place that they've been. Is
Absolutely.
yeah. Uh, what would you say? Do you have space available for any tours yet this fall? Or, I know one of the ones that you do is Christmas markets.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any space available for people who might want to be doing some last minute planning for 22?
We sure do. I mean, we've never seen travel booking like it is right now, but we do still have space on fall and winter tours this year. I can't stress enough how important it is to work with you, Pat, because I know you do the research, so you're going to be able to find them the best value. And I can't say enough about having an experienced travel agent working on your behalf. But
Thank you for those words.
yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't travel without using one. But we do still have dates available this fall. Between you and me, I actually was in our inventory, and we don't have a published sale right now, but on the down low, I did just see a nice $299 round trip air rate on all major gateways. for our Christmas on the Danube River cruise. It's an 8-night,
Okay.
yeah, it's an
Wow.
8-night cruise offered late November and December. Space is definitely limited, but we do still have some seats available. So if anybody's interested, they can check with you. Of course, now that I said this, by tomorrow, watch it all be gone.
Well, it happens. I mean, you just have to jump on it. So, folks, a word to the wise: if you think you would like to do one of those last minute trips with Collette, yet give us a call, or start to plan that now, because chances are that space is not going to last much longer. 2023, how are sales going?
Amazing. Like everybody's saying, that revenge travel is back, breaking records, right? Space is disappearing. We do work with a lot of groups. So, a lot of the group space is already held. We do have a lot of guaranteed dates though, so people should check with you and find out where those are, and definitely book something for next year.
Yeah. Uh, Here again, I'm finding with some destinations, folks, and that just a word to everybody that plan ahead. I was putting together some travel for Italy, Ireland, and for next fall, and finding some difficulties with space that far out. So,
Mhm.
just saying, we don't have to manufacture urgency, because it is a real
Oh,
thing
good
right
deal.
now. Uh, any you kind of touched on this, but any promotions or specials that you would like to share? Uh, any?
I mean, we do typically every year we'll have a Black Friday sale that will be coming up late November, early December, and of course that would be for 23 travel.
Sure.
Yes, that's always a big savings. Other than that little sneak peek I just gave you, I don't really have, and that wasn't even a published sale, so that's
Okay.
pretty much what we've got going on right now.
Well, that's great, folks. Mark your calendar if you are planning. If an escorted travel with Collette, after listening to this, if it has your interest and has piqued your curiosity, uh, mark your calendars for late November to get in touch with us, because uh, you're going to have an opportunity to reap some savings late this year. Um, so I know things are changing rapidly, but I just want to touch on this. What are the current protocols for traveling in Europe these days? Testing, vaccination, masks, anything that you could share about what's in place currently?
Well, as of right now, all guests with Colette are required to be vaccinated for all departures through April of next year. I just kind of want to mention that. So, as always, that can change based on restrictions both in the US and internationally. The good news is, as far as Europe goes, most European countries have lifted restrictions, and tourism, as we just talked about, it's back with a vengeance. So, um, that said, with the U.S. lifting the return testing policy, of course, that's been another reason for all of the increased demand on tours and traveling. So no more having to worry about quarantining in another country. Um, Definitely makes
You,
traveling
You
more
know, that
effective.
was a big thing, because nobody likes that uncertainty of worrying about having to, can I get back home after the trip? And I only had one traveler get hit with that, and get stuck for a few days, and that was actually in Ireland, and she had to spend a few days, and but out of all our travelers, that only happened to one, but I was so thankful to see that restriction lifted, because it really did. It opened the floodgates. People felt then finally free. People have to work, and people have to be back for things on their calendars. So that was really something that kept people from making travel plans. So thankfully that has gone. And Deb, I want to just compliment you. I want to take this on Colette's handlings of clients during these trying times that we've been through the epidemic, and you took care of clients, and you maintained the highest level of financial responsibility. You issued refunds, you answered calls, you took care of business when we saw providers who didn't do as they should have done, and so that kind of that kind of things keeps you guys high on our list of preferred providers, because we know that we can count on you to take care and to be responsible. And that we found out, folks, that is a big deal, and we've been much more mindful of that. The pandemic certainly shone a light on the providers, and gave us clear indication of who we can count on in times when things don't go as planned.
Thank you for bringing that up, Pat. And I'm not bragging, because my pride in my company extends to the fact that, when Collette says that our priority is our guests, our travelers, I mean, that was really just putting our money where our mouth is, because no one else did that. Over $170 million refunded in cash to guests, no questions asked. Many companies, people are still having to take the trips that they had booked 2 years ago, or, have vouchers. So that was an easy decision that my company made. And it's the reason I can sleep well at night. And I just feel like I said, I'm so excited about working for this company and so proud.
Yeah. Well, it is a mark of a well-managed company when you are, when you can issue those refunds with no questions asked. You guys are on solid financial ground, and that is very important, folks, in this day and age. Deb, just to conclude, could you just summarize, give our viewers 3 reasons why they might think about booking an escorted tour with Collette for their next vacation getaway?
Yeah, I mean, I would say number one, experience. We've been doing this again for over 100 years. So if that alone doesn't give guests peace of mind, the fact that all of our tours have an actual tour manager with our travelers the whole time. They're not hosted. They're actually managed by a person that's there with them. I would say number 2, our breadth of products, over 160 tours, all 7 continents. We not only go there, but we most likely have several itineraries in that destination for your clients to choose from. And then number 3, I would have to say the quality and value. Okay, that's 3 and 4, but I have to mention them together, because that old adage, you can't have both, but you really can with Collette. And I think it's important to know, again, all of our tours are going to be 4.5 stars above. And on average, travelers are saving 40%. If they were trying to duplicate what we've curated in their tour, in most cases, it isn't even possible because of those very unique experiences that we include. But for the most part, if they were to, try to put it together themselves, they're on average saving about 40%.
And that is a very good point, because you guys, you do volume, and you have these special contracted rates and so forth that people can't access those on their own. So it's great value. So folks, I just want to ask you, what is next on your list? And could Collette be a great choice for your next vacation getaway? Let us know if you feel like that's the case, and we will be so happy to help you select the exact tour experience that would be best for your particular travel style and preferences. Thank you again, Deb. I so appreciate your taking the time to be with our listeners this evening, and absolutely love the experience that you guys offer for our clients. I'm looking forward to one of these days experiencing one of those tours for myself. And always, folks, thank you who have tuned in to listen to another episode of Let's Talk Travel. We so appreciate you. Tonight, I inadvertently deleted the picture that I was going to show. But tonight, I am going to give away, we always have a drawing for our live listeners only. So only if you're listening live, I want you to enter Collette. You can see the word right there behind Deb's head, Collette. enter that in the comments section right now. And I have a set of stone coasters that I will have sent direct to you. They're travel themed coasters. They're just beautiful, and I know you will put them to good use. So Collette in the comments section, folks. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Pat.